Easy Tigers. I hope everyone's fine and dandy. Welcome back. Today we're going to be going through should we say, some old magazines. We've gone through them a couple of times, but there's 6 magazines to go through. And we just flicked through them before. They've got some serious nugs inside them. I believe they're from the early 1900s. So they've got loads of goodies inside. Loads of free energy devices. Certain topics regarding electrics that have been suppressed now. But luckily, when you go through the old magazines, you can come across this sort of stuff. So we're going to get into it. Also, another couple of bits that I noticed in the magazines last night when I was flicking through. Very interesting stuff. So I'm just going to share the screen straight away so we don't mess about. Entire screen window. How do I do this? Give me a second. Yes, Wicker Man. Big up, brother. What's going on, mate? Hope you're gravy. I'm just trying to share this thing here, but I can't get to do it. Give me a second. Share screen. Right, hang on. I know what's going on here. I'll do that. Here we go. Early bird gets the word. Big up, John Fletcher. Big up, mate. Yes, the early bird does get the worm. That's right. That is spot on. Right. Let me just make sure this is sharing. Yes, here we are. So let me just put this down here. Oh, none of that. Put him down here. And then make this full screen. So I just want to make sure this is sharing. Yes, we're in there. We are in. Right, guys. So we are going through some old world tech in some magazines. I just want to make sure this is sharing again. Yes. So we're going to go through these. Look, so we've got, I think this is from 1908. So this is like 115 years old. There's a few of them. And again, what I'll do is I'll put these on my Telegram group for people to download. So I'll put them as a PDF form on my Telegram group, and then people can come and download them and look for yourself. Because even though I've gone through these hundreds of times, like in my own personal time, just for my own personal stimulation of the brain, there's still loads of stuff that gets missed because there's hundreds of pages. So let's just get involved. Let me just see who's in the chat quick. Right, Noah, big up. Nice view for us. Thank you. Thanks, mate. Old world tech, my favourite subject. It's one of mine as well, John, mate. It's one of mine. Big up, brother Paul from sunny San Diego. Oh, not from Johnny in San Diego. Big up, Johnny, mate. Cherry. The old magazines called Scientific American or something like that used to have issues about ether electrical and about harnessing Earth's energy. Funny you never hear about it anymore these days. These magazines are exactly that, Cherry. Exactly that. Anthony Williams. Big up, mate. They were also spires to reach to heavens. How to tell the difference? Spires to reach to heavens. Okay, mate. Mate, the spires are about 20 foot tall, so they ain't going to reach heaven. Hello, Paul. Have you seen old maps on the crater? Many continents erased. Say this again. So I'm a logical thinker, and that just didn't sit right. Have I seen old maps on our crater? First of all, look, I don't know. You can't really use a crater Earth map as gospel and say that things have gone missing, because no one really knows, you know. So how do you know the crater map's not a lie? That's just what I thought straight away. Like the only way that'd be possible to what you're saying is to literally zoom out live, look down, see what's going on, but that would have had to been done 100 years ago. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really buy the crater Earth theory. It's interesting, but I'm a logical thinker. I believe we live on an infinite plane, some sort of simulation. I believe they're just like some sort of luminaries in the sky. I was thinking about the sun and the moon the other day, actually, because obviously they get really big and then small. So obviously for that in the narrative, that means they're coming close and going away, like to get small and to swell and get smaller. But I was sitting there thinking, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I believe that they do the same track. That sometimes it goes a bit wider, you know, because obviously it's following the Cancer and the Capricorn. But I believe it swells and then gets smaller. So I don't know. But again, I don't know what I'm on about. It's just opinions. Cherry, easy tiger. They're making too much money from us. Yeah, moon does seem like a mirror to me. It don't seem like a mirror to me. It seems like a luminary body in the sky. If it was a mirror, you'd see the colours of the earth in the moon. If it was a mirror. Much love. And also, if it was a mirror, like wouldn't you like? I don't know. I just don't think much of that theory. It's just one of the things that people run away with. Howdy from Oklahoma. Big howdy. Paul, love what you do. Cheers, mate. It was way closer than they say. Yeah, but I believe it's definitely not. I can't remember the numbers, but I used to be a right freak when it comes to like the Earth. So I used to know all the numbers that NASA give us. You know, I can't remember them now, but I think it's like 234,000 kilometers from Earth, the moon, or something ridiculous like that. And then the sun's like millions of miles away, yet they're exactly the same size in the sky. But yeah, I don't buy theories like that, and they're just the same as all the others. They come and go. It's just like the body parts or the petrified body parts, or we're living on the back of dead bodies or something like that. They're just pushed by. There's nothing to them. There's no proof of it. It's just an opinion. Moon behind water. Yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. When you sit there with a logical brain and you think about this stuff, it falls apart. If it was a reflection of the Earth, there's no colour. There's no colour whatsoever. So what people are doing is they're getting like little cavities, what they think are in the moon, and they're putting it next to saying it's the Earth. And yeah, it's just very strange. Very, very strange. But it gets them views. So that's what they do it for. Look for connected circuits, paths for the electricity. It's definitely connected. Spires. Yes, an Elmo's fire. If you don't. What? Look for connected circuits, paths for electricity. It definitely existed. They could also get the spires to light up. Have you guys seen the moon? Looks like there's two of them together. Again, so again, let's just so you've got one person sitting there saying the moon's a reflection of the Earth, and then you've got another person sitting there saying they've seen two moons in the sky. So how could that be possible? I'm just a critical thinker. So when someone throws something at me, I have to break it down in my brain. So don't think I'm just discrediting what you're saying. It's just how I think about these situations. Have you seen the moon? There's two of them together. How comes we can see detail in the moon craters, high-powered binoculars, but you can't see? I don't know. But again, this is exactly spot on. So if you can see detailed crater in the moon with your binoculars, yeah, I'm not saying you can't, by the way. I'm just saying, like, you're sitting there saying you can, then you should be able to map exactly what's going on the moon, really, shouldn't you? But yeah, you're right. I believe the moon's a lot closer than what it is, and I believe we've been told it's something completely different. Acapulco, big up. I filmed the moon and the P1. It looks like a sphere, but it definitely could be made of cheese. Yeah. So, and another thing as well, by the way, if people are sitting there saying it's a reflection of the Earth, that has to be flat to be a reflection. Otherwise, because if it was a ball, it's not going to reflect very well, and you definitely won't get a proper image if it was a ball reflecting. Good morning from Glasgow. Big up, mate. There's a guy who talks about how the moon's reflected continents of the Earth. Overlays the moon looks kind of, but I don't agree personally. Yeah, I know. It's just an opinion. It's just like me saying it. I could be completely wrong and he could be completely right. It's just an opinion. I don't believe it, but a lot of people do. The moon has looked like its double layer for some time. Many have noticed it here. There has to be a solid barrier above us, or you wouldn't have air pressure. Yeah, spot on. Something's holding it in. Obviously, or is it just there'd be no pressure, would there? Interesting stuff, though. I like it. Moon behind water. Interesting. Back in the room, battery died. Top of the morning. Big up, Crystal. Margot, big up. Australia, eh? Nice. Nice. I'll tell you what I did. What did I see once? I think I see something to do with Disney. And the Disney, I can't remember it. I'll probably say it completely wrong. Crater Earth. Good morning. Good morning. Firmament. Nice. So when you say this, is do you mean like? So you like? Let me understand this. So you're saying there's a mirror in the sky, or there's a. Explain it to me. There's something in the sky that's a disc or a ball, and it's a reflection, or you're saying it's a smaller version of Earth, but I don't get it. Like old snow globes, it was. They say it's a plasma moon. Supposedly, see what I mean? It's a plasma moon. It's there's just so many different opinions. Water, so it's behind water. So hang on a minute. So when I look at something through water, it's completely distorted, and I don't see it. So how can you sit there and tell me that you're in there seeing an exact representation of the sun, of the moon, to our Earth when it's sitting behind water? Because I know that if I look at something behind water, I'm not seeing it right. Separates waters from above. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about the electrics. I don't buy no crater Earth theory. It's just again, it's one of them theories that's going to get pushed, and I'll just reflection like a lake. It's a shield, as above, so below. Separates waters from above. There we go. Everyone's got a different opinion. Not one single one of them matches up with each other. So we're all completely different here. But never mind. Never mind, eh? Let's get to some juice. Let's get to some juice because I found something very interesting in these magazines. So let's get back to this. How shocking. What's shocking, mate? Matt, what's shocking? One thing for sure is the moon has its own light and temperature. Yeah, okay. That's brilliant. Moonlight. Temperature in moonlight. So it's cold and shade. Yeah. Interesting stuff, eh? Yeah, it's exactly what I've just said, mate, but in different words. Everyone has a completely different opinion. If you just look at these comments, every single person has said something completely different. And I always say, and I'll say it a million times, not one of us know the truth. Whatever I say is just my opinion, so that don't mean nothing. We all want to know the truth. Yeah. No one knows. No one knows nothing. Late night with Paul. Big up, mate. We'll put, how about I say that he walks on the moon? Yeah, whatever. I don't think there's. Yeah, demonstrate. Yeah, it's all late. Oh, what's happened? Let's see tech. Yeah, come on, let's see some tech. Late night, evening, brothers and sisters, Oregon. Yeah, nice. Scottish. Yeah, 100% been lied to about this place. 100%. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, and if you don't like that, it's going to stink. Got stinky opinions. Right. Spalding some work being done inside the 300-year-old shop in the Riverside. I popped in. My head to be nosy. All the floors was up. Buildings 20 foot into the floor. Interior. Wow, it's interesting. True, no one really knows. Again, yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not putting down any theory. I'm just giving you my opinion. So people will get offended because it doesn't match what they're saying. But I don't mean it in an offensive way. I'm just literally saying my opinion. I don't believe it. Simple as that. And I feel it's like when I say something, there's probably probably hundreds of people that go, "No, I don't believe it." It's just an opinion. It doesn't matter. The moon is a reflection of the giant Earth we live on, as the theory goes. Yeah, I mean, brilliant. I mean, if the moon is a ball, then you will not get a reflection of the Earth. So for that to be true, it has to be a flat disc at an angle, just reflecting. Yeah. Truth is a lot. Yeah. Rediscover technology. Anyway, let's get to some stuff, because I come across this earlier and I was like, oh my gosh. And it was called the Edison antenna. And it was these balls that sit on top of things. And I thought, oh, I've never seen these before. So it looks like they can, in this image here, it looks like they can connect like wirelessly to ships or send signals to ships. So let's have a look. Wireless systems employing electrical waves come into existence before 1880. So let's have a look at what's going on in here. A more detailed analysis will show us, however, that the conductor or conductors composing the antenna are merely a means of guiding an electrical current or moving electrical charge. Electrical waves are not radiated directly from the conductors of the antenna. An electrical charged body, or more simply, a charge of electricity, is always surrounded by what termed an electrostatic field. We do not know what this field is, but it is our working hypothesis that such a field is supply a state of strain in the other. We picture this strain as lying along certain lines called lines of force. So let me just show you what's going on in here. So when I tried to look for these little balls on, let me just show you, on Google, I couldn't find them nowhere. I couldn't find these balls nowhere. Even when I typed in Edison balls, I couldn't find nothing. Nothing come up. But yet we see these balls everywhere, don't we? Very interesting stuff. So, it's just... Right, so where's the one that I want to show you? Here we go. This was brilliant. So this is actually to do with, like the north, south, east, and the west on top of the roofs. I always thought there was something up with them. I thought there's got to be a reason to why these are like this. And I believe, well, I'll read it for you anyway, so you can read. So, other ways to light gas, modern electrics, the weather vane. So this is what it is. The drawing attached is design of an indication weather vane to determine approximately the direction of wind at any time. The apparatus can be assembled at an inconsiderable expense. The wire, 6 batteries, switch, and 8 small on 1 candle electric lights constitute the materials to be purchased. The housing for the contacts is a common can. So it's just like literally they're making this up out of like a can and stuff. Like literally you can make it out of household stuff. So it'll be noted as the vane revolves according to the direction of the wind. The brush comes in contact with the brass pieces and completes the circuit through one of the lamps. So basically when this spins, say if this spins to north, let's make it easy. If this spins east, then it's going to create a circuit. So there's loads of little circuits here and it will create a circuit east and it will light up saying, look, the wind's blowing east. So you don't have to go outside. See, nowadays you go outside and you look at it and go, oh, look, the wind's going east. But back then, you could literally be inside, probably open a little cupboard door or something, and it'll show you which way the wind's blowing with a light. So you go, oh, look, it's blowing east. But I don't know why. Like maybe, I don't know why they want to do that. Maybe to find out which way they're going to hang their clothes. Or maybe to, I don't know. The lamps are marked with letters corresponding to the points of the compass. The brush, figure 2, is made of a sheet of copper, contributed by springs. Oh, contributed by, it must be. Oh, contributed by Edward Craig, sorry. Variable condenser. So that's interesting stuff. Do you not think? So a simple electroscope. Make a small narrow, about 2.5 to 3 inches along, stiff paper fig into a pine board. Stick a needle in a point and figure out. This is how to make. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So what else you've got here? See, these are everywhere, like especially on churches and things like that. You see them everywhere. Let's just have a look what's going on in. There's even an article in here saying that the Eiffel Tower was a static generator. I'm trying to find it. It was absolutely bonkers when I was reading it. Wireless transmissions without masts. According to the reports from Rome in Italy, Mr. Marconi has discovered that wireless messages can be sent over desert land with the usual masts. Sand, being a non-conductor, acts as insulation for the wires, which are laid on the ground in a direction in which the message is to be sent. Stations without masts can easily be established and maintained without becoming conspicuous to the enemy in the time of war. An electrical fake. What's that? Oh, we've got some blank pages. What's occurring here? Oh, here we go. What's this? The Sly Fox. What's this about? Oh my God. So he's putting a bowl under there so the chicken can get it. And then he's breaking a fox story about words. Oh my God, that's a bit... What's going on here then? Oh, look, I'll tell you what, who would love this. Look at that. Look at the size of this elephant and the car running over it. How to catch autos. Automobiling in Africa. That's quite funny, isn't it? Automobiling in Africa. So, elephant. And the guy runs over an elephant. What's all this? Guys. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Sorry, I'll waffle sometimes. Let's go. What's going on? The Living Universe. Big up, Tiger. An old building that was generating electrical plat. Hello, big up. Starforts, underground power bases all around the US military. Yes. From New Zealand, big up. Liam Porter, you're right. It's very hard to find data on Edison balls. I know. I've looked there. Let me just show you if I can. Here, let me see if this is sharing the screen. Yeah, it is. Right. So I was looking. These are just antennas. So I was looking I typed in first vintage Edison antenna. Nothing comes up. Nothing at all. Like nothing that even represents these balls. You know, they're completely gone. Like I typed in multiple things as well just to see if anything would come up. See more images. Nothing. What comes up is a light bulb. You know. Crazy stuff. Look at all these little. Oh, I've got cramping foot. These antennas and that, man. Anyway, let's get back to it. Let's have a look at this one then. So I like the adverts. So what's this? Motors for wireless stations. will not heat. Absolute motors that will absolutely will not heat. These machines are the wireless operator's ideal as the most practical means to operate the modern rotary spark gap. This is chemicals experimental wireless coil bargains. Sending and receiving wireless outfits. It's mental, isn't it? The demand for school in itself, absolutely free. So I just like reading the articles. I'm just going to get to some ones and then I'll show you what's occurring. Pocket Toolkit. 47 perfect, practical, splendid tools for $1. That's mad, isn't it? Electrician's Toolkit. Let's see what they've got. A knife. They look like wire cutters. It's interesting. Assuming what it says, what they got here. Pocketbook knife. Okay. A reamer. Okay. A saw, a chisel, a screwdriver, and a cork puller. Interesting. What's the cork puller for? For a drink after the job. This outfit is practical yet so small, being contained in a leather pocket 4 inches and a quarter by 3 inches and a quarter. So it's literally about that big by about that big. Or sorry, it'd be a rectangle about like this. It'd be about like that. For immediate use. Invaluable to electricians. Experiments. What is it? Amateur. I can't even read it. Central station. It gets very small. What's this? Over 3.5 foot long. Solar telescope. Count cattle 20 miles away. What the blinking hell? Positively, such a good telescope was never sold for this price before. These telescopes are made by one of the largest manufacturers of Europe. Measures close to 12 inches and opens 3.5 foot. Wow. So 12 inches is like 300 millimeters. It's about 30 centimeters. So it's about that big. Guaranteed by the maker. So hang on a minute, like 20 miles away. I wish to all know who satisfactory the Exeter telescope is, our farm. So they had a lot of land back in the day, eh? A lot of land. Like this telescope can see 20 miles. Only 40-cent anti-nicotine calabash pipe. Huh. What's this? Oh, adverts wanted. I like all these little fixings. This is like a plasterboard fixing. This is very interesting, actually. Look, expansions and toggles. That's what they're called, spring toggles. You use these on plasterboard and stuff like that. Marbles. This is interesting. Marbles, safety pocket axes. Waterproof matchbox. Interesting. Obviously, I come from a mechanical background, so looking at these tools is amazing. Look, blowers, vacuum pumps for all gas and oil appliances, sand blasts. I can't even read it properly. Faucet water motors, complete with emery wheel. Okay, yeah, emery wheel. I think that's what you must connect to. Pulley and run, sewing and washing machine, polish. Well, that's interesting. Alcohol stove lamps and flat irons. Engineers wanted to send catalogues. We give every boy or girl one. A transformer. Look, the transformer consists of 2 spirals of brass ribbon set in frames and mounted on the standard. The efficiency obtained by using our oscillation transformer is fully 20% greater than the helix. Finished in alpha oak or mahogany, can be used on all sets. Mental stuff. Make $20 a day. Clearance sale, electrical wiring. See, I'd love to see these books. I'd love to get my hands on these. Wireless investors. What's this? Practical gas lighter. Works like magic. The only gas lighter on the market today that never fails and sold with an unlimited guarantee. Wow. Why use machines when we know it to be authorized state? What's that say? Why use matches when we know it to be an authorized stated fact that 90% of fires are caused by the reckless use of them? Okay. Look at this, the baby engine. 1 to 2 horsepower gasoline engine, the smallest in the world. Aero type, aluminium propellers, air cooled. The baby engine. The little wonder. I actually found a battery like this in Malta. American, every reader. Hypnotism. Learn how to hypnotize. Rotary spark gap will increase sending distance 100%. Dials high musical notes. What's this like? Learn by doing. It's mad, isn't it? This stuff. I like to have a doobry and read this stuff, you know, because you just get right involved. Look at all this. Look at all this. Telephone receivers. What's this one? 6-inch Grizzler tube with liquid. Geezer tube. So look, the writing's a bit not too great. Gives the most astounding colours. It must be a tube for a telly or something. Is it? Was it a light bulb tube? I don't know. Flying machine. A practical miniature aeroplane by a plane type guarantee to fly 100 feet. A well-constructed machine, aluminium propeller, rubber motor, sells for 75 cents. Imagine that as a little toy. Imagine being a child and you're getting a little flying machine in 1912, sorry. A little fly machine. I wonder what you controlled it with. Like, it must have been crazy. And we've got drones now, you know, like they're like zinc sparked, gap mounted on hard rubber based electrodes with rubber handles. I wonder what this is for. Spark gaps. Interesting. Medical coil. Earphones, 200 ohms. It's crazy, isn't it? The latest. Central Station sales manager. The sickle typewriter. Pardon me. What's this little device? Let's zoom out a minute. Free offers. What's this? What is going on here? Nap Little Hustler motor, 3.5-inch, high finished in black enamel with nickel plated trimmings. 3-pole armature fitted with pulley. That's interesting, isn't it? Marbles pocket screwdriver. Interesting. Look at that little pocket screwdriver. And presto light key. 3 sizes of blades locked into nickel plated handle, which closed up When I bought my GoPro camera, it says that nickel, it actually says on there, this contains nickel and is a cancer-causing product, which is interesting. And a lot of stuff that I'm noticing here, especially the electrical stuff, is got nickel in it. Blériot model, monoplane, guaranteed to fly. Again, it's one of these little planes again. So you wouldn't have thought like drones and these drones, and you'd have thought they'd be modern things, but clearly they're about 100 years ago. Modern electrics. Let's see what people are saying. Big up Paul Cook, big up Oi, big up daughter, peace out. Denise, I always miss show notifications. Yeah, big up Denise girl, maximum respect. Chin Wagwan Paul, big up Chimney Chunkers. Nobody in Khan. Quest believe JFK, yes. Tesla would have whooped McConaughey's, yeah, I know. It's the year the Titanic sank. Oh yeah, very interesting actually. Big up MDMT. Definitely not a wish one. Manifestors of Light, yeah, big up. The best content in here. Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah, it's interesting stuff. Pew pew pow pow. Wow, YouTube really doesn't want me mentioning JF. It wouldn't surprise me, mate. It wouldn't surprise me. This it's a funny old worldy old YouTube, isn't it? And let's get back to it. So, a wireless course. What's this? The Electro Lollipop buzzer. What's this saying then? These buzzers are similar in construction to our lollipop bells, but without the gong. The design is similar as well as a general details. The cover and base are made of cold rolled steel. The tension is easily altered and the contact adjustment held securely by a spring nut. The ribbed edges of the cover spring tightly over the base, making it like a wires readily removed, allowing inspection and adjustment of the moving parts if desired. This is just the buzzer to use for testing the minerals of the receiving wireless set. This is just the buzzer to receive to use. Sorry, hang on. This is just the buzzer to use for testing the minerals of the receiving wireless set, as it is compact and very neat. Wound to 3 ohms. Base is jumping on cover. Look, cover nickeled. Interesting. What is all this? Portable cases. Our spark coils are in rings. The great wireless books. Look at all this. This just seems like old world tech now, doesn't it? Red seal dry batteries. Look at this. Anchored spark gap. Fixed receiving condenser. Look at these little connections. This is like a little condenser. Transmitter outfit. Flanged. Spark gap. Receiving set. Look at this. It's mental. See, these are made both iron and soft metal. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Right, where was we here then? There's something here. Look, look, there's a baby engine again. 2 cycles, 3 ports, valveless, with but 3 moving parts, automatic lubrication and spark control. Big bargain in telephones. We brought several hundred of this style from a bankrupt concern. It's funny, isn't it? I bet these went bankrupt because they didn't want them coming out. So they just bankrupt the companies and people bought them up. That's how things go missing, and don't really come out. They get bought up and shelved. A man or woman to act in our formation reporter, all spare time, no experience necessary, 50 to £300 a month, nothing to sell, send stamps. Telegraphy taught. Look at that, man. What's this? Razors. The demand for competent men. Learn wireless experiments. Hang on a minute, we've seen this one, haven't we? Let's have a look at these. Get yourself right at home with vibration. The vibrator. Yeah, I bet they got used as other things, eh? The vibrating chair. It cures all these diseases. Valuable book given away. Wireless operated head receivers. Interesting. Wireless. That's interesting. Electrolytic detector. For 2 years, this detector has been the standard. We are closing out this style as we are building a new type. Our stock one-inch spark coils. What's this? Electro special sending helix. John's, what's this then? It's made from pure gum and alcohol. No, they've been pulling or cooling. Dries hard in half an hour and won't show marks. Use it wherever you would use shellac or varnish. It's interesting. Where's this stuff? What is this stuff? Johnson's Underlac. Johnson's. These cats are behind a lot of stuff. Johnson's Underlac. Let's have a look. Was it like a... Oh, what's going on here? Is it like some sort of like Underlac? Johnson. Yeah, obviously that would come up. Obviously this stuff would come up. Underlac. Dries hard in half an hour and won't show marks. Overstrained dye filler or on bare wood. It has absolutely no equal for preserving a beautifying. Yeah, interesting. Send this coupon. It's like a varnish or something then. Yeah, man, this is crazy. So what I'll do is I'll leave these. I'll put a link. I'll put these PDF files inside my Telegram group so people can just take these and look for themselves. Especially if you make videos. These are gold dust. These are absolute gold dust. Look at this. Fawcett water motors. I've spoke about these so much. Complete with emery, wheel buff, no agent. So the water goes in here, spins that. And obviously there'll be something on here, some sort of like pulley cable, you know. So there's another thing as well, by the way. There's actually, especially in London, I have a map of it. There's something called the high pressure network. Let me see if I can find it. High pressure network. So the high pressure network London map. This is it here. So this is a map, right? The hydraulic power company. So this map is incredible. Let me just explain. Let me just make sure this is sharing, to be fair. Yeah, so this map here is showing the high pressure network in London, the General Hydraulic Power Company. Now, what's interesting about this is these pumping stations or these sewage pumping stations, or they're now sewage pumping stations, I believe they were part of, or they were points where this high pressure was pumped around London. Because why would you have such grand sewage stations? You know, it wouldn't make sense. So, and this, I've been to this one here, right here. I actually went to this pumping station and I made a video there, and I couldn't believe how grand it was. It was like I was in some sort of, I don't know, Cross Cathedral Church, pumping station. But my point is, when they were originally used, I believe they were for this high pressure network. Now, this high pressure network runs through London. You can see this is the network, and it would connect to places like certain houses, certain industrial estates. And why I'm saying industrial estates is because the factories that were connected to this high pressure network, all the machinery was run on high pressure water. So what I mean by that is it would come in to the building, like it'd be drawn off of these pipes straight into a factory, and it would go to something like a water motor. And this water motor would then spin because of the pressure of the water, and it would generate power to use the machinery. There we go. And this is exactly, I can't see why I can't zoom in on this. Why can't I zoom in? Let me just see if there's another image. So this is the high pressure network anyway. There's the general. So again, anyone doing research on this stuff, feel free, because this is again another nuggets. And again, this is something that's been suppressed. So there was a network of high pressure water that run through London and fed people with money. Because obviously, like if you've got the money, you can buy the appliances that run on high pressure network, or mainly factories, because their machineries will run on it as well. So that's interesting. Let's see what people are saying about that, and if people knew about that. Steam powered. Not so much steam powered, mate. It says it directly here. It says the General Hydraulic Power Company. So I'm not talking about steam, it's talking about hydraulic. People should get to understand Ken Wheeler work on magnetism. If you do. When was this made? I'm not sure, but I made quite a few videos on this high pressure network. Wait, water and not steam. That's new. It's maybe it's not new to this channel, mate. I was talking about this stuff 3 years ago, but then I just went to boots on the ground. Yeah, cool. Paul, hope your electricity is working properly again. Thanks for another great. It seems to have sorted itself out now. It seems to have sorted itself out. But touch wood, you know what it's like. So yeah, the high pressure network. So going back to this, so you'd had these dynamos, right? That you can connect. Not this one in particular, but there'd be like water dynamos you connect to the high pressure network, and then from there you can get an electrical connection. So the water is not waste water. It doesn't come through the machine and go into your waste. It's circling around the pipes in London. It circles around high pressure network. And I believe the pumping stations now that are sewage pumping stations were the original pumping stations for the hydraulic high pressure network system. But that knowledge is lost. And again, it's just we've reused it for pumping stations for sewage. But really, is it pumping sewage? Like when I get there, it don't smell of sewage. When I went to this pumping station, I just see these massive arms going up and down. Didn't smell like sewage. It was just water to me. But there we go. So anyway, we move on. Hopefully that's something different to people who didn't know about. Look, the revolver. Wireless apparatus patterns. Stevens repeating shotgun. The 12 gauge takedown. Hammerless repeater. To empty shell added cannot be. That's interesting, isn't it? I was trying to find. There's certain images now. I want to find these balls on these houses because it's in connection to something we were looking at the beginning of the week. Look at this modern electrics. Cool. The original letter. I don't think it's in this one. Sorry, guys. So, look at this. The Eiffel Tower plant. For some years past, it was desired to increase the capacity of the plant at the Eiffel Tower. The plant at the Eiffel Tower. But it is only within the last few months that the work of the building, the new station, has been actually carried out. Again, like the Blackpool Tower and other towers, like originally, I don't believe they're tourist attractions. Like they're stating here, I believe they had a purpose. Now, this one's pretty much saying that it was some sort of power plant. But again, something happens. We lose the knowledge. Generations passed, and they just become tourist attractions. But it's the only within the last few months work out the new station has been actually carried out. What is desired in the present case is to provide a higher power station which will be keeping with the great height of the tower of 984 feet, so that the proper advantages can be secured. This is far from being the case with the small station which is now in use. It was only intended as a temporary plant, but at the time when it was installed some years ago, and has had hardly over 15 horsepower, the full advantages of the tower of this height are far more being realised. The plan of building a higher power station, which would use at least 100 horsepower, could not be realised for a long period, owing to the various difficulties which arose in the official circles, and it was only during the last year that it was definitely decided to erect the new plant. So is this saying that these were originally power plants? I'm pretty sure that I've seen an image with some like factory looking buildings underneath this as well. Maybe this is this similar image. But it's funny that we have this here, and I'm pretty sure there's an image where it shows you this is actually here, this image here. This is exactly it. So these houses, or these, I think this is showing you, look, this is an old plant. Let's see what's going on here. While a tower has great advantage on account of its height, it is not so favourable disposed as placing of the aerial, seeing that it does not lie in the centre of an extended area. And for the reason, do you know what? Another thing as well, if you actually look at this from above, it actually looks like a circuit board outside of Paris, you know, outside of the Eiffel Tower. While the tower is blah, 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 around the tower, all sides known as the umbrella form. So let's read that again. Not possible. Right. While the tower has a great advantage on account of its height, it is not so favourable disposed as to the placing of the aerial, seeing that it does not lie in the centre of an extended area, and for this reason it is not possible to bring down the aerial wires around the tower on all sides. So they're just saying it can come down on this side here to feed all this lot, and it is known as the umbrella form. Station's last size. The German miniature. In fact, the tower is situated on a relatively narrow tract of the Champs de Mars, and the width has been still further reduced within a recent period by building houses on a portion of it. So I wonder if the houses were getting the power from here then. Must be. They can only be built down one side, thus within the comparative limit area. In order to give the greatest spread possible from the aerial cables, they are anchored in masonry columns, which are situated at the farther end of the park. Okay, so the whole park seems to be a power plant. That's probably why it looks like some sort of grid lines when you look at it from above. I wonder what it looks like now. 2 additional pillars are placed at the sides and somewhat nearer the tower. So this is just a power plant. This is just a power plant. I mean, I believe there was one where London Wembley was as well. I believe there was an Eiffel Tower there, but correct me if I'm wrong. We got that they're all over the show. I mean, what's the other one? Yeah. So what does this say? As this is the first time that the power of 300 meters has been used for an aerial telegraphy station, it will not be possible to predict the results which are to be obtained from it in the way of distance. But this will certainly be greater than what is covered by the extensive existing plants. The first experiments to be carried out when the station is completed will be to send messages to America. Mental. Wireless messages to America from France, from the Eiffel Tower. And easily done. Messages to be sent to the stations which are already erected in New York for this purpose. So they're already erected in America for this purpose. As to the distance which can be covered, it has been thought that messages can be sent nearly around the globe at any rate. The tower plant will occupy. What does it say? Continued what? It's mental. The first aeroplane automobile. I think this is where helicopters come from. I've done a video of this before. The Radio Telegraph Company. Interesting experiments in autophony between a running automobile and a stationary plant. Well, let me read this again. The Radio Telephone Company has recently performed some interesting experiments in an autophony between a running automobile and a stationary plant. A short mast about 10 feet high was used as an antenna, while the ground was made by trailing a metallic net behind the automobile. Oh, okay. So they had a net behind to make the ground. Okay, I've got it. So you've got the pole up in the air, and you've got a metallic net touching the ground. So it's creating the circuit, I believe. The experiment was an entire success. Speech was transmitted both ways up to 2 miles. The voice at all times could be made out distinctly. Wow. A powerful electromagnet for batteries. These books are gold dust, really, aren't they? The static machine. Look at these. So you're just making electric at home, static electric, by winding it up. Which is a common thing, by the way. Before World War II or World War I, I believe you'd make your own electricity at home with little devices, and you'd store it in Leyden jars and things like that. But again, lost knowledge down to World War I, World War II. And I believe that's what it was about, because they actually went around, took down all the bells in World War II as well, didn't they? A lot of stuff got smashed up. A lot of buildings got damaged, so all the tech on top of the buildings was taken down. It was just a cover-up. The magnetoscope. Measure comparatively the magnetic strength of magnets. Wow, that's interesting. The handy switch. What's this? What's this geezer doing? Has he got an antenna on the giraffe's head? What's this? Carried out not long since between the Eiffel Tower and the plant, which is located in Melun, some 30-mile distance. This is not the first time the aerophone has been made to work between these 2 points. Interesting. Let's just say the electrical patterns of the month. Oh, it's a shame you can't. What's this geezer up to, eh? Why can't I zoom in on that? I'd like to know what he's doing. You can't really see, which is a shame. Aerial, battery, rheostat, receiver, detector, ground. Centimeter. Oh yeah, we've seen this. All you need. It's mental, that stuff, eh? You've got the electric, look, the Wimhurst machine. That's what I mean. These are just like guaranteed to generate in any kind of weather. So if it's raining or it's foggy, it's wet, it's humid, whatever the weather, doesn't matter. This little device is going to generate electricity, so you can go and store it in Leyden jars and then use that electricity when you need it, or the power when you need it. And what I will say is, back in the day when these were about, electricity was actually I think they called it electric liquid back then. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure they called it electric liquid. And what's going on here? This was interesting. Look, speaking arc lights in railroad deposits. The speaking arc lamp has been the latest found practical use in some of the large German towns. Most Americans are now so used to the bellowing, howling individual in our large railroad stations who pretends telling us what the destination of the next train is that they do not mind his aesthetic roar anymore. There are even some people who boast that they can understand every word, which these train announcers trumped out. But the poor stranger would much rather hear a dozen Sioux braves howl their war whoops than try and make out where the next train first stops. So you've got these arc lamps, and they're obviously talking. It's saying that it's perfected now. Well, actually, it's not perfected now. It's done through speakers now, isn't it? But yeah, you've got the lights and the speakers working at the same time. Water motor, 12-watt dynamo, $3.50, complete outfit with lights, diagrams, etc. €7, $7. Divine water motors, for sale, electric motor in good condition. Storage battery charger with automatic cutout, slightly used. Electrical books, blueprints, wireless telegraph. I bet that's wicked. Special 30-day offer for Wimhurst. Let's see what else is about. Wireless telegraphy output. There's just one certain image I wanted to find. This, I think I've showed you these guys before. Brews your coffee while you sleep. Like, someone invented this. If you happen to be a hustler, and if you must have your coffee ready 5 minutes after you wake up, the following arrangement will be welcomed. It is entirely automatic, and when constructed, never fails to work. Attach a wire to the inner frame of your alarm clock. So it's as simple as that. You've got your alarm clock, and you touch a wire to the inner frame. And attach a wire to the inner frame alarm clock, and another wire to a thin brass strip, which is best glued to the plasterboard dial. It's amazing. It should be arranged in such a way that the hour hand can touch it. The minute hand can pass over it. So I hope you understand that. Let us suppose that you have to be up by 5 o'clock in the morning. In the case, the contact brass strip is glued to the dial at that point, which is reached by the hour hand. At 10 minutes before 5, the alarm itself is set for 5 a.m. If now at 10 minutes to 5, the hour hand establishes contact with the brass strip, thereby closing the circuit or creating the circuit, battery B, 5 dry cells, will heat the 1-inch plate or piece of platinum wire to a white heat. This heat is sufficient to light a small alcohol lamp and in about 5 minutes, the water of the glass flask H will commence to boil. The glass flask has a soft rubber stopper into which fits the glass tube bent into 2 right angles, as shown in the sketch. It is necessary that the rubber stopper fits tight in the flask so that here, and the glass rubber fits stopper snugly. On a block of wood, a coffee machine is placed which contains the usual amount of ground coffee. Instead of its cover, a circular piece of wood is provided through which other free leg of the glass rubber passes. As soon as the water commences to boil, enough pressure is created to drive a certain amount of boiling water through the tubing into the coffee pot, and in 5 or more minutes the alarm goes off, and when you wake up, all you have to do is reach over, pour out a cup of delicious hot coffee. It is to be recommended to keep the arrangement some distance away from you. Not because of there's danger, an explosion or fire is possible. If you drink your coffee in bed, you might go back to sleep. That's interesting, isn't it? That's quite an interesting little statement there. So there is so much danger with having this contraption next to you, but they're not saying that. They're literally dismissing that. I don't think you get away with saying it these days. They're literally dismissing the amount of danger. And don't forget, this is a closed system. For this to boil and go up in there, that's why it has to be fit snug with rubber. So it's a closed, pressurized little system. So it will go in here. So yeah, there's quite a lot of risks involved in this little setup, but they say, what does it say? That it is recommended to keep the arrangement some distance away, not because there is danger of explosion or fire, not because of that, but clearly that is the real risks. But they make a joke of it and say, because if you drink your coffee, you might go back to bed. If you drink your coffee in bed, you might go back to sleep. It is understood that you'll have to blow out the flame of the alcohol lamp as soon as you wake up. Also, the battery must be disconnected, or else the alcohol lamp will go off at 5 p.m. the same day. That's interesting. See what people are saying, eh? That's an interesting one, huh? Bathtub. Yeah, pour me one. A bit more diverse. Cheers. These old articles are so interesting. I love these streams. Yeah, do you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm actually going to read thoroughly through one of these later on today, and I'm just going to pick out some serious nugs, and we're going to do the same next week. Of course, that danger couldn't exist. Exactly. Oh boy, when I was 18, I found out they made coffee makers that turned on when you set. Felt like a real adult. Mr. C, big up. Good evening, Tiger. Wow, bro. Interesting stuff, isn't it? Morning, mate. Police boycott audit. BD. Shannon, big up, geezer. Yes. Hi, Carpenter. Big up, mate. Good to see you. Jax, big up, girl. Sounds like Dodgem car. Yeah. Exactly that. That's exactly when I was, because that's exactly what I had in my mind when I was reading it out. See, Rex Research, Herman Paulson, Atmospheric Electric. Yeah, I'll check that guy out. So many videos less than a year ago was incredible. Portland Island and huge crystals and megalithic rocks. Yeah, I know, man, it's crazy. I actually deleted so many videos as well. So much videos. Especially, I deleted all the old World Tech ones as well. I've deleted some boots on the ground, and I've deleted some Starfall and water research videos. But I might start uploading them. What is my Telegram group? Oh man, I don't actually know it off by heart, which is very unprofessional of me. But what I'll do is, again, I'll leave it in the description of this video after. I won't be able to do it now. Hello. Good morning, child of Yah. Yes. Big up. Telegram group. Where is it? There it is. There's a Telegram group. There it is. Big up. Bro, I want to try your herb over there. I want to know. Well, where are you, mate? Where are you? To be honest with you, over here, it's not like it is in England. They're a bit behind. I feel like they're 20 years behind over here with their crow. So what I mean by that is that they're on the lemon haze, you know, just stuff like that, like back in the day, old school stuff. Spliffs, yeah, yes. Out to the field. You want to try the herb over? You want to try the herb over there? When you come into Liverpool to help me find Stevenson's Rocket in the Williamson. Stevenson's Rocket? What's that? That sounds interesting. I'd love to go to Liverpool again. I actually love Liverpool so much. Wow. We've really been deceived and the deception is coming back to haunt us. I love them land raised things. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's mad stuff, man. It really is. Get woken up, boiling face. Your coffee's ready. Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah. Can we have the book? Yeah, Adam, mate. What I'll do is I'll put these PDF links in my Telegram group after, all right? So you can just go in there and nick them. Look, I'm getting a real bad dead leg here. All right, let's see what's going on. Old school her shoes, yeah. First passenger train. Oh, interesting. What? So that's down in the Williamson tunnels. Is that what you're saying? Man, if you're saying that, that is really flipping interesting, mate. That's something I'll have to look into. It wouldn't surprise me. I do know that the military spent 2 years down there in the early 1900s. And what I mean by that is they plotted up down there for 2 years. So there's obviously blocking stuff up, dismantling stuff in Florida. Interesting. Most things polyhybrid these days. It's almost 4 a.m. here. Cool. Yeah, big up, guys, for being here, man. I appreciate you. But I'm going to love you and leave you because I have to go and film some nugs today. I'm going to be doing a video later, which you can watch. And what I mean, I'm going to go and film some nugs out today, and I'm just going to go and upload it for 8 o'clock tonight in GMT. So let me just get rid of this. I might even do some more on this high pressure network, you know. I really might do it. These are the pumping stations, but look, can you see what I'm touching? Hang on, I don't even know if I'm showing the screen. Yeah. So these are these little dots here. So you've got one here, one here, one here, one here. These are the pumping stations that were pumping the high pressure water around to the factories and the rich houses. And nowadays they have been converted into sewage pumping stations. But I don't believe they're sewage pumping stations. There's no need to pump sewage. All the sewage is done, all the pipe work and that is done to full. And, you know, but I don't know. We'll see what's going on. Look, this is the only image there is of this high pressure network, which is crazy. There's only one image. But never mind. Listen, I'm going to love you guys and leave you because I'm going to sort things out now. So let's see what's going on. Dope. Cheers, mate. Wings makers on the back. A full English breakfast coming on, all the information. Yeah, nice. I'm reading something about going missing. Edge Hill Station. What was this? I read something about it going missing when I was left overnight in Edge Hill Station. Wow, imagine finding that. Crazy, man. Lorraine put most of these wings. Yeah, those were the days. Yeah, thank you so much. Big up, Denise, man. Appreciate you. I really do. It would be priceless to find it. Yeah, I mean, I've actually found some mad stuff over in Malta. Like, I found an old Mercury arc rectifier that had 177 grams of mercury in it. And I've also found a dynamo that powered an old train station here as well. But again, I've got videos on both of that stuff, and I haven't deleted them. They're actually still on the YouTube channel. Good morning. Metal in the microwave. Full English breakfast. Nice, nice, nice. Yes, Paul, you're killing it, my friend. Cheers, mate. Nice one, geezer. Yeah, I thought I'd mix it up because I've done so much stuff on Boots on the Ground. I thought I'd just, start showing some stuff, other passion that I do as well. Because this is what I actually started on YouTube for when it was doing the old world tech. That is what I really come here. But then I found myself noticing stuff out, like exploring old world stuff. I started noticing stuff and then sort of went one way. But don't ever forget, Paul Cook Hidden History Channel is the actual channel. Maybe there's, what I do know is there's quite a few fake channels out there of me. And one of them's asking for Bitcoin and stuff like that. I'll let you guys now know I only have one Telegram channel and that is it. And I think there's like 2,500 subscribers in there. So if there's anyone or any other channels that says Paul Cook, it's not me. It's nothing to do with me. I've got one channel and it's got around 2,500 subscribers in it. Someone made me aware a couple of months back or a month back that there was one that's just asking for Bitcoin and stuff like that. So it's nothing to do with me. I like the only way people could do that is PayPal or Patreon. So this is the only group on Telegram that I own. This one here. Is it private, Paul? No, it shouldn't be private. But I haven't been on it for quite a bit of time actually, but I will start going back on it. Right, listen, I'm going to love you guys and leave you because I've got to sort things out. Listen, one love, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and all that jazz. And give this a little like for us. It don't cost you nothing at all, but it helps me out more than you can imagine. So I'd appreciate it, guys. One love. Big up. Ta-da.